Okay, in the B part, the part 2016, the B part, the first paper, the B part, there are 5 questions. You have to answer all on the paper itself. Now here the first question, it's about fractions. The question, I'll read the question first. They have said, Mr. Kitsiri made a cash donation to a community center. 2/9 of the total amount he donated was used to buy musical instruments and half to buy sports equipments. Now, out of the amount he donated, 2/9 was used for musical instruments. I'll say that is for musical, and half was used to buy sports equipments. I'll say sports. Okay. Now from this, the first question, it asks us to find what fraction of the total amount was used to buy musical instruments and sports equipments. Now in order to find both, you have to find the total. You have to add both. 2/9 plus half. So when you add fractions, you have to make the denominator same. Therefore I'll multiply by 9, and then you have 18 as the common denominator, LCM. 9 plus 4, it is 13. Now this is the total fraction for both music and sports. And also with the end of that question, they have said 1/5 of the remaining amount was used to buy books for the library. From this, 1/5 of the remaining was used to buy books for the library. Now the second part, find what fraction of the total amount was used to buy books. Now in order to find books, what you have to do is, first you have to find what is the remaining amount. 1/5 of the remaining amount was used to buy books. Now let us find the remaining part. Remaining is, how much is the remaining? It's 5/18. Now from this remaining, 1/5 of the remaining, of means you have to multiply. Therefore 1/5 of remaining. 5 and 5 will cancel off. Therefore 1/18 is used to buy books. This is used for books. And then the amount remaining after purchasing the books was used to renovate the community center. Now 1/18 is used to buy books. Now from this, the amount remaining after purchasing all this. Now this is the amount from the total. This is the amount used for the renovation, and this is the amount that was used for both sports and musical. Now let us find the total. Now you have to add all. Now since the denominators are same, I'll directly add 1/18 plus 13/18. That is equal to 14/18. From this, the remaining. How much is the remaining? 4/18. Now this part is used to renovate the community center. Now the third question, third part, find what fraction of the total amount was used for the renovation. How much is it remaining? That is 4/18. Okay, and the fourth one, if the renovation cost was 20,000 rupees, find the total amount Mr. Kitsiri donated. Now they are saying you that 4/18 was the amount given for the renovation. Now this amount is equal to 20,000. You have to find what is the total. Now if you take the full part as 18, out of that 4 part is equal to 20,000. You have to find how much is this 18. Therefore, let us divide 20,000 by 4. That will give you the value for one part. And then let us multiply by 18, which is the total parts. So you can directly divide 20,000 by 4 and multiply by 18. So if you divide this by 2, you have 10,000. So 10,000 into 9 is equal to 90,000. This was the total amount that was donated by Kitsiri. Okay, this second question, they have given you a pie chart. They have given you certain data, that is they have spoken about the people who are growing pumpkins, brinjals, ladies fingers and green beans, and out of that they have said that pumpkins, the number of farmers who grow pumpkins and brinjals both are equal, therefore both the angles should be same. Okay, I'll get you the diagram. This is the diagram given. This is equal to 90, that is the data. This is equal to ladies fingers. This part is equal to 30 degrees, that is for green beans. And also this is brinjals and this is pumpkins. Also, since these two, the number of farmers are equal, these two angles will be equal, therefore I'll call it as X. Therefore the first question, find the magnitude of the angle at the center of that represents brinjals. Okay, Roman number 1, you have to find how much is that X. Therefore 2x plus 90 plus 30 is equal to 120. Total is equal to 360 degrees. Therefore 2x is equal to 240. X is equal to 120 degrees. Okay. And then with that, the number of farmers who selected green beans is equal to 15 farmers. Now they have given you an information, that is 15 farmers is represented by 30 degrees in the pie chart. Okay, and then the second part, find the number of farmers who selected pumpkins. Now you have to find what is the number of farmers who selected pumpkins. Therefore we will find it this way. Now 30 degrees is represented by 15 farmers, means what is the number of farmers represented by 120 degrees. Therefore we will write, this is the data given, 15 farmers is represented by 30 degrees. What is the number of farmers represented by 120 degrees? Yeah, 15 times 4 is equal to 60 farmers. Okay, the third question, it says find the total number of farmers represented in this pie chart. Now you have to find the total number of farmers. Now since you know brinjals, it is equal to 60, pumpkins also will be equal to 60. Also green beans, they have already given the number of farmers. You have to find out ladies fingers. Let us use the same equation and let us find how many farmers are cultivating ladies fingers. Now since 15 farmers is represented by 30 degrees, what is the number of farmers represented by 90 degrees? Therefore 15 into 30 will give you 45. Therefore to find the total number of farmers, you have 60 plus 60 and 45 plus, this is not degrees, 45 plus 15. What is the total? 60 plus 60 is 120. And 45 and 15 is equal to 60. Therefore 120 is the total, 120 farmers. Okay. And then the last one, after 1 year, 20 farmers who had been growing brinjals stopped growing vegetables. Now brinjals, you know the number of farmers, that is 40. Now the number of farmers for brinjals is equal to 40. Since 20 left, there are only 40 farmers. Okay, now what you have to do is find the magnitude of the angle at the center of the sector which represents the farmers growing brinjals in a pie chart drawn considering the change data. Now you have to use this equation. Now what they are asking you is that earlier the brinjals, the degree that is relevant to brinjals was 120. Now you have to find the new angle. How do you find out? Any idea? Okay, you can find it this way. 120 was the total, the part which belonged earlier. Okay, you can do it this way. Here you have now you have altogether brinjals 40 farmers. Earlier it was 120 altogether. Now you have 100. Okay, Now let us use the same data given here. Let us write 30 degrees is represented by 15 farmers. Okay. Then how much for 40 farmers? The same thing. Then you can simplify. Here you have 2, 4 times 40 times 2 is equal to 80 degrees. This is the new value of brinjals. Now the new data will have 80 degrees. Okay, got it? Okay. Okay, the third question. Mr. Pereira, this is about shares. They are speaking about dividends. Mr. Pereira, who is an investor in the stock market, invests 40 rupees to buy shares. The capital he invests is 40,000. He has 40,000 in his hand and he is investing in the business. And then to buy shares at the market price of rupees 80 per share. One share is buying a share for 80 rupees. And the company pays annual dividends of 6 per share. That means the amount he gets from one share is that 6 rupees. That is what you mean as the dividend. Okay, now let us move on to the first question. Here find the number of shares he buys. Number of shares, how do we find? This is the total amount. You have to divide by the amount of one share. That is 40,000 divided by 80. How much is it? You can cut the 0. It's 5. So total number of shares is 500. That is the total number of shares. This person is buying 500 shares. Find the annual dividend income Mr. Pereira receives. Now from one share is receiving how much is that? 6 rupees. Therefore total number of shares 500. Then you have to multiply 500 by 6 rupees. So the answer will be 3,000. Okay? Okay. And then the third question, find the selling price of a share. Before that they have said after 1 year Mr. Pereira sells all the shares and makes a capital gain of 3,500. Now what is this about? After 1 year Mr. Pereira sells all the shares and makes a capital gain of 3,500. Now here, already for how much is he buying one share? 80 rupees. He is getting a income of 86 from one share. He is getting a capital gain of 3,500. How do we find? Any idea? He is getting a capital gain of 3,000. Okay. This is the way of finding out. The total amount after selling, he will be getting 40,000 plus the 3,500. Yeah, he gains 3,500. So the total is how much? 43,500. And you have to divide this total money by the number of shares. Yeah, find the selling price of a share and you have to find how many shares are there altogether. 500. Did you get that point? Now he had only 40,000. But after selling all the shares, he is getting an additional income of 3,500 rupees. Therefore, the total amount he gets is 43,500. Okay. Now you have to find for how much did he sell. Now for sure you know that he bought for 80 rupees. He is selling with an income. Therefore, altogether he had only 500 shares. Now let us divide this. So number of shares he gets is, you have to divide 435 by 5. The answer you get is 87. Now he bought a share for 80 rupees and he is selling it for 87 rupees. Okay. And the last part, Mr. Pereira adds 3,500 to the capital gain. Okay, now he adds another 3,500 to the capital gain and dividend income he receives and deposits the whole amount for a period of 2 years in a fixed deposit account which pays an annual compound interest rate of 10%. Now he is investing some amount. Now how do we find that amount? They have given few information. He is adding a 3,500 from his hands. Okay. This is an additional amount. He adds 3,500 to the capital gain. How much was the capital gain? Earlier the capital gain was also 3,500. Okay, plus you have to add another 3,500. Also don't forget that they have said and dividend income, and also the dividend income. How was the dividend income? He got 3,000 rupees from the dividend income. So altogether 3,000, that is equal to 7,500, 7,000, and altogether he is getting an amount of 10,000 which he is depositing it in the bank for a period of 2 years, and it is they have asked you to calculate using compound interest. Okay, this is not normal interest, it is compound interest. Okay, now you have to find the total amount in the account at the end of 2 years. Okay, now when we calculate compound interest, okay, it is this way. Now you have to, they have given you the interest rate. Now normally this is the, if it is simple interest, now understand the difference between simple interest and compound interest. Now simple interest means, simple interest, now say okay, now let us do this question related to simple interest. Okay, this is the way. Say the interest rate is 10%, so the total amount he will receive is 110 over 100, means how much for 10,000. This is for 1 year. This is the amount in the bank after 1 year with the interest, 110. That means if he is depositing 100 rupees in the bank, he is getting an interest of 10 rupees, 10%. That means altogether he will have 110. 100 plus the interest 10, that is altogether, that is equal to 110. Therefore 110 is for 100, means how much for 10,000. This is the amount with the interest after 1 year. Here you will be getting, okay, how much is 11,000 after 1 year. Now what people think is compound interest and simple interest, they confuse here. What they think is, now you have got an income of 1,000, they think that you have to multiply it by 2 for compound interest. It is wrong. If they had asked you about simple interest, now you can say that for 1 year it is, the interest is 1,000 rupees, therefore you can just multiply 1,000 into 2 will give you 2,000, and you can get the answer. But here they are speaking about compound interest. There what you have to do is, this is the way of doing. 110 over 100 is 110 is for 100, means how much for 10,000. Now this is for 1 year. Again you have to multiply this by the same formula here, 110 over 100. Got the equation? Okay, now let us simplify and check what is the, don't forget to mention the units. Okay, and then finally let us cut all the zeros. So how much do we get? It's 11 into 11 is 121 multiplied by how much? 100. Okay, so you get 12,100. Now did you find the difference here? If it was simple interest, then the interest for 1 year was 1,000. If you multiply it by 2, you will be getting 2,000. But here, since it is compound interest, for the second year you are getting an interest of 1,100, altogether 2,100. That is because during the second year they have calculated the interest even with the interest from the first year. Okay, got it? Okay. And then the fourth question is about probability. There are 3 red tennis balls and 1 green tennis balls in a box. There are 3 red, let us mark it as R, and 1 green, I'll mark it as G. A ball is drawn from the box, its color is recorded and put back. A ball is drawn from the box again and its color is recorded. The balls are drawn randomly. Okay, now there is a box, they have all these balls. You just take a ball randomly and then mark its color. Okay, the first part, indicate the relevant sample space in the given grid using the mark X, R1, R1, R2 represent red balls, G represent the given, represent the green ball. Okay, how do you mark here? They have said, okay, they have given you the chart, you have to mark as X. Okay, let us mark all the values in the grid. This is already they have given R1, R2, R3. Okay, let us say this is 1 red, 2, 3, all that. Okay, and G for green. Okay, here they have said this is the first row. This person is drawing, okay, 2 times, I hope. Okay, here also you have R1, R2, R3 and green. Okay, this part is for the second row. Okay, now you have to, now they have given as a grid. Okay, you have to mark these X events as X. All these are the events you can get. Point 4, you will be having 16 events. Okay, now since we have marked, let us move on to the second part. Here what they have asked you to do is indicate the event of drawing the green ball at least once by encircling it in the grid and write down its probability. Now you have to check which part will give you at least one green. Now look at the first drawing. Okay, now he is drawing twice. Now he is drawing, this is the probability of the first drawing and the second drawing. Now you can take only where you have what, at least one. That means you should get a green color at least once, or even if it is twice, no problem, no harm. Okay, therefore you should have green at least once. Now what you can do is you can circle all the green ones. Now see, if you take the first row, can you take this part? No, this event you can't take, because the meaning of this event is that in the first drawing you get red, and also in the second drawing also you get red. Now consider this part. Okay, this is in the first drawing you get R red, and during the second row you get green. Therefore this will be an answer, this will be an answer, this will be an answer. Think of this one. In the first row you get green, and also in the second row also you get green. Therefore you will get all this and also these events also. Now let us think about this event. In the first row you get green, and in the second row you get red. Therefore the possible events are all these. So they have asked you to mark and also to write. So in writing, altogether there are how many events? Altogether 16. And in the numerator you should write the number of events, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Therefore the answer will be 7 over 16. Okay, and then let us go to the third part, Roman number 3. 2 of the 3 red balls are each marked with the letter X, and the remaining red ball and the green ball are marked with the letter Y. Okay, 2 of the red balls. Okay, altogether you have 4 balls. This is red. This is also marked as, okay, let us say red, green. This is also marked as XX. This is Y and Y. Okay, now what are they doing is, suppose that the letter marked on the ball was also recorded in each of the above drawings. Okay, now you have to consider both. Okay, now you are going to consider both red and X. Okay, now this time it should be X. Okay, now this is the way. Now complete the following tree diagram relevant to this random experiment. Now you have to draw the, since they have given you the diagram, you have to fill it with the probabilities. Now this is X, this is Y. Okay, this is the first row. In the first row there are 2 probabilities. One is that you will be getting an X or Y. That is correct, right? Even in the second attempt you will be getting two probabilities. That will be, one will be x or y, x or y. Let us write here, this is second row. Now you have to fill with all the probabilities. Now look here, how to find the probability for x. Okay, in the first row, how many balls are there altogether? You have 4 balls, therefore 4 will be in the denominator. And how many x balls are there? You have 2, therefore 2 over 4, that will give you half. The same with y, therefore you have how many y's are there? 2, therefore half. Now okay, are they are okay, they are replacing it. Okay, now they are taking it, marking and putting it in the same box. Okay, now the second row, during the second row also, how many x are there? There are 2x and total number of balls 4, therefore even here you will be getting half here. The same thing, you have the same probability. Okay, now let us see the questions they have asked you. Fourth part, the third part you have to just fill with these probabilities. The fourth part they have said is find the probability of drawing balls marked with the same letter on both occasions. Same letter, you have to find the probability of drawing balls marked with the same letter. Okay, what is the probability of getting the same letter at both occasions? Now consider this branch. In this tree diagram you can take this branch because you have x in the first row and second also you have an x. Now can you take this branch? Can't, because this is, you have x here and here you have just y. So, and you have the only one branch left is this. Now you have to find the total probability of both of these. Now when you find the probability in the same branch, you have to multiply. That means from the same branch, from branch to branch, same, you have to just multiply half into half, and with this you have to add the probability of this. That is half into half, you have to multiply. What is the reason? Because you have it in the same branch. And with this, since now you are dealing with y, you have to add with the probability of this. Now this is, since it is in the same branch, you have to multiply half by half. So the answer you will be getting is 104 plus 104, that is equal to 204. Also if you simplify that, you will be getting half. Okay. And the next part, the last part, fifth part, state with reasons whether there is a greater probability of drawing balls marked with the same letter on both occasions or drawing green ball at least once. Now what is the probability of drawing green balls at least once? That we have already found out. It was 7 over 16. This is for green balls. And drawing both same balls, what is the probability? That you have half. Now out of this, which is greater? Definitely this is greater. So you can say drawing balls marked with the same letter has a greater probability than this. Okay, that's all. And then the last part, fifth question, is about area and circumference is also mixed, I guess. Okay, they have given a sketch of the floor of a theatre is shown in the figure. It consists of semicircular part CED on which the stage is built and a rectangular part. Okay, and they have given you the length of DC. Okay, this is the theatre they have given. This is DC. This is the stage. This is the auditorium. Think of a normal auditorium. And this length DC is equal to 14 meters. Mention the units always. This is AB. Okay. Now they have said to use pi as 22 over 7. Okay. And Roman number 1. Find the arc length of the semicircle CED. You have to find only this part. What is the equation to find the semicircle of a full circle? Of a full circle, you have 2 pi r. But since this is a part of circle, you have already learned that theta over 360 into 2 pi r. So theta here is 180. 180 over 360 will give you half. I'll write it, okay. 2 into 22 over 7. How much is the radius? Radius is not 14. Radius, if you take the semicircle, it is from this midpoint to this. That is equal to 7 meters. Now let us simplify this. 7 and 7 will cancel off. How many 180s are in 360? 2. 2 and 2 will cancel off. Answer is, finally you have 22 meters. The length of DEC is equal to 22 meters. Okay, second part. Find the area of the floor on which the stage is built. Okay, now you have to find the area. The area of a full circle is pi r squared. Since it's a part of a sector, you have to write theta over 360, theta angle, into pi r squared. Now here theta is equal to 180 degrees over 360. Pi is 22 over 7. The radius is 7 meters multiplied by 7 meters. Don't forget to write the units. So you can cancel this off. Here you have 1, 2. If you simplify, you get 11. So 11 into 7 will give you 77 meters. Sorry, meter squared. Since this is area, it is meter squared, meter into meter. Okay. And the third one, what is it about? If the floor area of the auditorium is 3 times the area of the floor on which the stage is built, find the length of AD. Okay. Auditorium's area is equal to 3 times the stage area. Now stage area is equal to 77 meters squared. If you multiply this answer by 3, that will be equal to the area of the auditorium. The area of the auditorium, you know only the breadth, that is equal to 14 meters. Now to find the area of this rectangular part, you have to multiply DC 14 meters by this length. Now you have to find that. Therefore, let us write this way. 77 meters squared multiplied by how many times is it? It's 3 times. 3 times should be equal to the area of the auditorium. Auditorium, how to find the area? You have to say 14 meter multiplied by the length. Length, I'll call it as AD, because since they are asking you to find AD. Therefore, 77 into 3. How much is 77 into 3? Sorry, 21, 2, 21, 23. 231. 231 meters squared is equal to 14. Here you have AD also. Meter and 1 meter will cancel off. So AD is equal to, you have to divide 213 by 14. The answer you get is 16.5 meters. Okay. Therefore now you know the length, that is equal to 16.5 meters. Okay. For the next question, the last part, the fourth one. Here I think you need the diagram to explain. I'll draw it again. You have the circular part here. DEC is here. AB is here. This is the auditorium and this is the stage. Okay. Light bulbs have been fixed around the floor on which the stage is built. Now where the stage is built, they have fixed light bulbs. Okay, with bulbs at C and D2. Where is C and D? Okay, C and D2. They have fixed light bulbs here and here. There is an equal gap of 1.4 meters between the adjacent bulbs on the line CD. Okay. Now between CD, there is an equal gap of 1.4 meters between the adjacent bulbs on the line CD. Now they are having a gap of 1.4 meters. Now this length is 14 meters. Now from here to here they have fixed bulbs starting from D and finishing at C, but they are having a gap of 1.4 meters. Now since you know the total length, you can find number of bulbs fixed here. That is the total length divided by the gap, divided by the gap, the length of the gap. Therefore you can find the total number of bulbs. The first one they are asking you is that the bulbs are on the arc CED are also fixed with an equal gap. The number of bulbs on the line CD CD and on the arc CED are equal. Calculate the distance along the arc between two adjacent bulbs on the arc CED. Okay, now let us find the number of bulbs on DC. Number of bulbs on DC. The total length is equal to 14 meters. Therefore, you have to divide by the length of the gap, that is equal to 1.4 meters. So what is the answer? So altogether you have 10 bulbs here. 10 bulbs are fixed, okay, from here to here. Also they had said an important part, that is the number of bulbs on the line CD and on the arc CED are equal. Now since you know that these bulbs are 10, here you have 10 bulbs, you also should know that the bulbs on this line, the curved part is also equal to 10 bulbs. Now they are asking you the what is the length between each bulbs. How do we find out? Now since you know the total length, we have already found out the arc length. Also you know there should be 10 bulbs. Therefore you can divide the total length by 10. Okay, what was the total length we found out? It was the arc length was 22 meters. Therefore 22 meters, let us divide by 10. Therefore the answer you get is 2.2 meters. Between each of the bulbs here, the gap should be 2.2 meters. That's all.